Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another third stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update. So, as most of you guys probably already know by now, is that the current stimulus package is now sitting inside of the House, waiting to finally get approved something in the very near future, specifically probably either by the end of today or by the end of tomorrow. Just something pretty soon. In fact, if you are watching this in the future, then the likelihood is, with the hope that everything goes smoothly, again, keep in mind with that hope is that it may have even already officially been approved, hopefully, if you're watching this in the future. But in today's update, I really just want to focus today's update talking all about the unemployment benefits extension, everything in terms of the amount, the dollar amount, how long it goes for, how to physically get on it, or how to physically roll over. So for example, like if you're currently on the very last couple of dates with unemployment, whether or not you should reapply, every single detail all surrounded about the unemployment. We did make a video yesterday that was very focused on stimulus checks. Feel free to check that if you guys haven't done so already. It's basically just this video, but just stimulus checks. I think it's physically called the official stimulus check bill or something like that. And also put it at the end screen if you guys wanted to check it out at the very end of this video. But today's update is going to be all about the unemployment extension, because especially, as most of you guys know, if you guys have been following here for a while, consider subscribing if you guys are brand new here, is that considering how many different changes of the bill that we have, as most of you guys probably know, we had a bill that was supposed to end at the end of September, then the very end of August, then it was pushed into the middle of September, and then the dollar amount change and all sorts of different details were kind of added. So today's video is going to basically explore the official final version of the bill, with the hope that everything goes smooth, which looks very likely at this time. So with that being said, we're going to get started right away, but before we begin, make sure you smash the like button in light of a lot of this great news that's been going on. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button for future updates on stimulus, unemployment, and then also all of the different programs and then other finance topics that we're really going to dive deep. I'll also put some videos at the very end, and feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all, or if you guys wanted to say hi. Always great to see familiar and also new faces. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So when it comes to the time length of the unemployment benefits, is that it looks like right now that in the final official bill that we're going to be looking at right now, is that they're going to be taking the unemployment, extending it from the middle of March, which is where the second stimulus package ends, which is when a lot of people's unemployment is about to basically end very soon, and basically now extending that all the way until the end of the first week of September, specifically September 6th, so essentially right before Labor Day. I believe in total they did say is that the total length, I think, is going to be about 25 weeks from basically now to then. So remember how, like, in the first version of the bill, it was supposed to end at the very end of September, then they changed it and ended at the very end of August, and now it's going to be ending kind of like in the midway point, the end of the first week of September. And keep in mind is that this time length is not just the time length to get the actual boost, but it's also the time length to actually physically stay on the unemployment program in its entirety. So with the boost and the regular state that you guys are currently getting right now. Now in terms of the dollar amount is that, as most of you guys probably know, is that they did drop it from $400 to $300. However, they are officially going to be doing the tax cut that has pretty much been confirmed. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit afterwards. But in terms of being able to make the transition from the current unemployment that you are on right now to the new unemployment that's going on is that transition actually is really going to be dependent on the state. Now the really great news is that there have actually been certain states that have already actually started to roll out information about how they're going to be making the transition. I believe that the overwhelming majority of the states, the really great news is that they're hoping to do the rollover automatically. So the best thing to really do if you're looking to try to roll over to the next unemployment is actually nothing, which, thank goodness, is probably better than having to do something, at least in that sense. I know that it was confirmed in New Jersey. It was thankfully confirmed in New York yesterday. And I'm biased because I'm also from New York. So this is the actual physical email that I got from the New York Department of Labor. And if you follow it on their website or also any of their social media pages, I know that the New York Department of Labor even has like a Facebook page. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other states also have it. Definitely California. I'm pretty sure Georgia. Basically, more or less, the majority of the states should all have some kind of social media page, or at the very least some website or email that they're hoping to send out information for what to actually physically do. So I would say in terms of reapplying is that for right now, just hold off on it to stay still, because really the only time that you guys should really be reapplying is really that if they physically tell you to do so. Otherwise, I think that in the overwhelming majority of cases, it should be a relatively smooth rollover. We're just waiting for different states to kind of say, to confirm for sure. But I know definitely New Jersey has announced that, New York has announced that. If your state has announced something, maybe feel free to share it down below so we can kind of confirm, because if you guys have been here for a while, consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so, is that as we've mentioned, is that the official information, the most accurate, will always come from the people that are physically in that particular state experiencing it firsthand than any kind of other article information that we could possibly read out there, even on their official site. Although that is probably the second best resource. Now, they did, however, take out the retroactive, so one thing maybe is that they will not be doing any kind of retroactive payment. It's pretty much just going to pick up from the middle of March, which is crazy to think, literally in 1 week, and then just kind of roll over until the very, very end of the first week of September. And then some people were kind of wondering about where the 75 weeks of unemployment comes from. So really, the basic idea is that if you are someone that's been unemployed since the start of the pandemic, and I totally feel you guys there, because as most of you guys know is I work in events and film, so you can imagine what happened to my industry is that the time length from when they started the entire unemployment program to the 1 year mark, which is crazy because it's literally this week, actually. That's the crazy thing since we locked down. 1 year is about 52 weeks, and then now with this new extension, which is supposed to go on for another like 20 something weeks, that time length is pretty much how you end up getting the 70 something weeks of unemployment. If you guys are someone that has been on every single possible unemployment, from basically the PEUC, the FedEd, the EB, the new one, the second round of the PEUC, or if you're on the PUA, and then all of the additional rounds of the PUA, that's pretty much where like the 70 something weeks of unemployment really comes from. I do have another video that I made a little bit while ago that's physically called 59 weeks of unemployment, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, but it basically talks about every single unemployment program. Really the only thing that has really changed from that video, and I'll put it at the end screen as well, the only thing that has really changed between that video and today is really just the length of the program. All it is that all of the terms, the programs, everything stays exactly the same. It's just every time I say the word 59 or a certain number, it's basically just a larger number, which is a good thing because it means that we are getting more dates of unemployment. Now, when it comes to the tax cut, the really, really great news is that if you have been on unemployment since last year, they are going to be waiving all of the taxes from last year's unemployment up to about, I believe it's $10,200. It only applies to the taxes right now in 2020, not in 2021. There are talks that they may be doing an additional kind of program somewhere down the line this year to maybe, just maybe, waive the taxes for 2021, but the current tax cut program is only going to apply for all of the taxes in 2020, which in many cases can be, we're talking about a legit like several thousands of dollars we can be potentially talking about, especially if you are from some kind of state or location that is relatively high percentages of taxes. Now, in terms of being able to get on it, it's really going to be a tax cut that you guys are pretty much going to be writing on when you file for your 2020 taxes, which is basically doing a little bit over a month now. That is the crazy thing. But when you guys do your taxes, there's going to be a section on it where you basically would just physically write off all of the taxes that you guys got from the unemployment. Now, if you guys are someone that has officially already filed your taxes, the likelihood is that later on, you're just going to have to file some kind of tax amendment. And the same thing applies also with like, if you guys are looking to get any kind of past stimulus check money. I talked a lot more about stimulus checks in yesterday's video, so feel free to check that if you guys haven't done so already. And again, I'll put it at the end screen as well. But probably the big idea to all of this news is that regardless of whatever unemployment you're on, whether you're on the traditional, the PUC, the PUA, all sorts of different programs, is that almost every single person now is pretty much going to be able to have their unemployment extended now until the middle of basically September. So that is the really, really great news. So if you guys are, on to the last couple of dates, just know that with the hope for a smooth approval, which is just incredibly highly likely right now, and might have even already happened by the time you're watching this, it should hopefully be a smooth rollover for certainly most people. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully found something insightful about that. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button for future updates on stimulus, unemployment, and all sorts of like stimulus package government relief programs, and also other finance topics. And feel free as always to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. It looks like we really are in the final stretch, as crazy as to think. If you guys have been here for a while, thank you guys, huge thanks for all of the support that has been going through this, especially because, as most of you guys know, is that it's been a pretty wild time for a lot of different people. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.